Welcome and good evening, beautiful people. Um, wow, it's a Monday. It's a Monday evening, and look at what we have in front of us. Handsomeness, beauty, beautiful Jamaica diaspora. I love it. I love it. Welcome this evening. Welcome to our special edition, Caribbean Diaspora Vibes. This is our special edition of a Jamaica Town Hall meeting about passport services. My name is Donna Morton, and I am the president of Caribbean American Diaspora Alliance, president of Women of Culture Incorporated, and host of Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network. And let me pass it over to our host, Mr. Louis Witter.
All right, Donna, welcome everybody. Thank you so much, Donna. Welcome everybody to this meeting today, the Town Hall meeting, I would say the first of many to come. And it is a delight to see each and every one of you. My name is Louis Witter. I am one of the hosts and the founder of CRR Network, which is Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, broadcast 24 hours right here in Central Florida to the world. And we are delighted to be a part of this event this evening. Before we get started, I would love to take the time to honor the Lord and go into a word of prayer for opening. Father, we thank you this evening for this opportunity to allow us to come together as people from one land that you have given us, Jamaica, the land of wood and water, a beautiful country that we have all got the benefit of being there. Some of us, or most of us, was born there. Some of us were descendants of that country. And today we're here together to talk about things belonging to this country and ourselves. We thank you this evening for all of us who come together. We thank you, Lord, and we pray that you will give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And most of all, give us unity amongst each other as we discuss business pertaining to our development, not only for ourselves, but our young people for years to come. We pray your goodness and mercy upon us this evening. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Awesome. So Donna, we want to welcome, if you take the opportunity, we want to welcome each and every one of us. Donna, if you want to get started, to welcome Brother Peter and all the people from the diaspora group.
Yes, we want to, say a special welcome and thank you to Peter Gracey, who is a candidate for our Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. This is the Southern Division, right? So we want to big ups, first of all, to Mr. Peter Gracey for taking the initiative to bring us together. This is something that was long needed. And we do appreciate just us getting to this point. So first of all, thank you, Peter, for allowing this and taking on, this initiative. So the next person, let's see, we also want to give recognition to our current Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, the Southern USA, which is Dr. Allan Cunningham. So welcome, Dr. Allan Cunningham. How are you? You are muted.
I am doing quite well, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and to participate in this conversation. So I thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm truly happy to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And let's say there are actually a few individuals that are also candidates from the Southern region. And let's see, we have, is Janice Green? She may not be on yet. And then we have
Janice McIntosh, sorry.
Is it McIntosh? Okay. Yeah. Then we have Dr. Rosemarie Lewis and Lorraine Smith. I'm not sure if those individuals are on, but they were invited, so we're going to recognize them. And before we recognize our local I'll turn it over to you to recognize our local diaspora here. We want to just say that, you know, we're here to discuss and to create a framework for passport and document services and satellite office here in Central Florida. So that is the purpose. I think that we all would say that this is a service that is greatly needed, right? We don't all be having to drive 4 hours to go to Miami and all that, you know, we have family down there, yes, but still it would be so greatly appreciated if Central Florida would be able to have something, an initiative, you know, where a couple times a year, even that we can have it, or some kind of satellite office. So this is a framework. This is why we're here, to talk about this, to create it, to build it out. And, you know, we are so delighted that you individuals care so much about Jamaica and is still so much a part of the diaspora and the concerns, and you take the time to be with us this evening.
Awesome. And I also want to take the time to welcome, you know, I would say my colleagues here locally, Dr. Barbara Dawkins, President of the Jamaica American Association of Central Florida. Welcome, Dr. Dawkins, want to welcome you. We also want to recognize Rosemarie, Pastor Rosemarie Roth. She is also the President of the Jamaica Cultural Association of Central Florida. Welcome, Pastor Rose, how are you? We also have Miss Mia Allman. She's the founder and president of, we have the KUO magazine, a magazine that pinpoint and highlight individuals that are doing well in our Caribbean community in the Central Florida area. Welcome, Mia. And we also want to welcome Miss Joan Edghill, elected to be the president of the Jamaica American Association of Central Florida for 2023-2024. We also want to welcome Brother Garfield. I know Brother Garfield is there. Brother Garfield, welcome. Makuk, welcome as well. I'm not sure what your title is, but you can highlight us later on. We also have Major S.P. Ford. Welcome, sir. How are you? And of course, we have Brother Vittel, one of a long time strong businessman in the Central Florida, Orlando area. Everywhere you go, you see Brother Vittel. It's delighted to have all of you here this evening. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. If I do, Donna will get back to all these individuals. I see Sophie, Stephanie, welcome from IDS. Okay, welcome. And we're delighted to have each and every one of you. And I think it's appropriate to turn it over, Donna, to Brother Peter Gracey, yes, to sort of welcome and give us, since you're the person that put this together, Peter, welcome. Let's hear from you, and what's your vision in regards to this meeting this evening?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Let me acknowledge my good brother, Dr. Allan Cunningham, the current Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the Southern United States. The reason why I put this town all together, it's for the purpose of having a discussion how we can create a framework for a local satellite passport / document services for Central Florida. I've seen a lot of woes in the community as far as people are complaining they have to drive 400 miles to Miami, and sometimes they have to stay over in hotels. And even when they get to that point, sometimes the work that they went for, it's not done. And they have to reschedule and go back and go back and go back. So I found it necessary that we have to step in and do something. Now, I want to make sure that we understand that this has nothing to do with this election that we're running. This is why I invited all the other candidates, Dr. Rosemarie Lewis, Janice McIntosh, and Lorraine Smith, because it's necessary. If I don't win, someone is going to have to deal with this, right? So we all need to get the same message at the same time so we can be inclusive and supportive of each other, right? If Dr. Rosemarie doesn't win, then I will know, Janice will know, Lorraine will know. If Lorraine doesn't, you understand what I'm saying? So we all have to hear the same message at the same time coming from the subject matter expert, which is Integrated Diaspora Services. So I just want to acknowledge all the candidates. I must say, it just goes to show that we are really and truly in supportive of Jamaica, all of us. We're running for free, right? Amen. So, but before I go any further, I don't want to take the spotlight away because I have to acknowledge the current Global Diaspora Council representative, Dr. Allan Cunningham. And I just want him to step in and make a remark.
Welcome, Dr.
Again, thanks very much, Peter Gracey. And greetings again, everyone. It is certainly my pleasure to have been invited. I'm recognizing some very close friends of mine. Now that I'm seeing the faces, Dr. Barbara, how are you doing, my friend? Nordia Teape, my very good friend, love working with her, of course, and certain other persons who have built a relationship with on social media. So it's always a pleasure just to see you for the first time, some of you. I know that there are a strong contingent of Jamaicans in Central Florida. In fact, I think it's 21 or 22 years ago, Orlando has the highest contingent of legal Jamaicans in the United States. I don't know where it is now, but I know that there are a strong contingent of Jamaicans living in Central Florida. So this conversation is absolutely necessary. And so I am all in favor of having this town hall. And I would like to thank, outside of Peter, anyone else who have been instrumental in making this a reality. Hopefully, this can provide the germinating seeds for real change that will benefit all of us. And so I thank you kindly again, and I'm looking forward to a fruitful discussion from all of us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We must recognize our guest, Ms. Nordia Teape. You know, I too was gonna call you, Teape, right? And Nordia is like, nope, it's Teape. Nordia Teape of CEO, she's the CEO of Integrated Diaspora Services. We welcome you to this forum, and we are just anxious to hear what you have to tell us about the services that you provide and how we can just intermingle, and how we can, what advice that you have for us from your experience. But first, tell us about who you are and your company.
Hi, everybody. For those in Florida, I ask you to send some of your heat based on where I am. But I'm so honored to be here. Integrated Diaspora Services is built and designed to support, to engage the diaspora globally and provide all the possible support we can to keep our people engaged and connected back to their country, in an effort to build our country economically and socially, and to ensure that irrespective of where our people are across the globe, they're taken care of. They're naturalized, that's one. So for all those who are saying that they're Jamaicans without a Jamaican passport, we need to address that.
Right.
Right? You cannot officially declare yourself as a Jamaican without a Jamaican passport. And in addition to that, prepare our people to invest in their country. And that is where the documentation come in. Now, integrated diaspora services, we're 2 years old. We started 2020 in the heart of COVID, when we saw the difficulty that the diaspora, even before COVID, had in terms of getting business, doing business in the country. Especially those who are, well, Florida, even though they're, half an hour or so away from Jamaica. And for those who are even farther away, like the UK, where I am right now, it has been difficult for persons to do business back home. And we have the issue of trust. Yes, the issue of trust, which is very, has been a problematic one that we have developed a vehicle to address, right? So we must put out there that we do not replace the consulate, we do not replace the High Commission. We work in support of the consulates globally and the High Commission. We have been working so closely with the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council for the past 2 years, right, Dr. Cunningham? Yes, right. We have been strategic partners with the Global Jamaica Partnership Group. And during 2021, before we could physically be present in the spaces, we were doing a bit of workshops virtually. And majority of them were usually in partnership with the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we're happy to take this further in having, this year, 2023, we started embarking on physical presence across the diaspora. We work very closely with the Northeast. Big up to Dr. Dunkley, who's not on this platform right now. And Dr. Cunningham as well, we've been to Florida. We came to Florida in March, I think it was March or April. We were in Connecticut, New York, back in Atlanta. So we started the physical presence as, I guess, basically to whet the appetite of what we're going to discuss tonight, of how we can do that more direct contact in the community. So we can basically have a more intimate connection with the diaspora. And that is also my reason for being in the United Kingdom, to understand the dynamics of the space and to be able to serve more people better needs like these.
Wow.
Awesome.
So you said United Kingdom, so it automatically went to, so it's about 2 o'clock in the morning for you then?
It's 10 minutes to 12.
Well, you look
even
though it's midnight.
You know, I'm a Jamaican. We do well almost every climate.
No wonder you're mentioning the cold weather. All right. So there you've heard it. So again, tonight is about asking questions, right? So I think we're going to open it up to ask, questions, and I'll be checking on Facebook to see if there are any questions. So while I'm doing that, does anyone have a question off the bat?
And just before you go into any question, Donna, I just want to also, there are some few people that jump on later. Lately, and I saw a Miss D. Clark, or could Mr. But we want to welcome D. Clark. We also want to welcome Mr. John Perry, one of our partner here and also on the Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network. And of course, this session, as you said, is questions and answer. And it's also a brainstorming because this is something new for Central Florida. I'll be the first to make a comment because just last week, I ran down to South Florida to renew my passport. I had a debt in my family and hey, I didn't realize my passport been sitting here with dust on it. And so I ran down for 3 hours, whatever time I drove down. I must say the service that I got at the embassy, at the consulate, was excellent. I didn't have to, wait any period of time. They were very helpful there, and I got through in no time. But I would love to see, and the purpose for us to be here this evening is to prevent things like this from other individuals like myself that I have just done, driving down in an hurry just to get my passport renewed. So again, I welcome the idea to have a satellite office in Central Florida, remote office, whatever we're gonna call it. I think this is overdue. We have been here, I've been here in this town for over 30 years, and it is about time we have something to get these things done in Central Florida. Too much of us here that are doing well in our life in the United States, in the diaspora here, and for a service like this, we must have it. So I do welcome you and your company and the ideas that we can bring forward this evening to make this happen. So I open the floor. Anyone, you're welcome to start with your comments. It doesn't have to be a question, but also a comment as well.
We do see a hand up for Vittel.
Okay.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Nordia, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Check your text. I just sent you some heat. I just forward some heat to you on WhatsApp. Don't worry. All right.
Thank you so much.
I'm just joking. I thought it's an excellent idea, and an idea whose time has come. Well, I have a little issue here, Nordia. You need to fill me in on what's taking my passport so long. You know, it's been several months now since you guys came into town, and everything else came through for me. The birth certificate came through. The what was the other one? The TRN came through. I'm still awaiting the passport, and I'm not blaming you, but the Mr. Mayor was here, and I talked to him, the Consul General in Miami, and he told me to forward him information. I still can't get any response since, and this was been going on since March. So I need an answer, you know, and that's just first. I want to ask you what's the problem, and then I have a follow-up after that.
All right, well,
can I
as you
jump in?
know, oh,
Sorry,
I just wanted to make it that he was at the Access Jamaica Orlando, right?
Yes.
Right, Access Jamaica Orlando. So part of that we did which is we facilitated the processing of his birth certificate and the TRN. We did not do directly the passport. That was done directly by PICA, who was present on the ground. So he, along with other persons, have been waiting on their passports. We continue to follow up with PICA on that matter for him. I do apologize on behalf of PICA, who is not here to defend themselves right now. But hopefully we can get some response before Christmas, sir. So you can have your passport in your hand.
I came here specifically to ask a question.
Can I jump in real quick? We want to make sure that we understand that what we're doing here is we're trying to ask Nordia questions, not of personal services that happen, but we're trying to create a framework of how we can get a passport office or satellite services here. And then further down the line, we can ask miscellaneous questions. It's important that we try to get information for the framework together, because we are taking notes of how we're going to get this done in the future. And we want to make sure that that we kind of stick to the script a little bit. And then in the end, the moderators or the host can facilitate those personal questions. Thanks.
Well,
And if I may follow up,
just for your information,
I'm sorry.
I had no agenda. I had no script. You know what I mean? So if there is one, you know, could you make it available so we can follow it?
No, I believe he was saying that we can answer like the miscellaneous questions after, but the majority of the forum is of how we can create a satellite
Office here locally.
Yeah.
if I may follow up on Mr. Witter's comment with Nordia and Diaspora Services. What do we need to have in place in Orlando or Central Florida for us to move towards a satellite office or honorary consulate, whatever term we want to use.
Ms. Nordia?
So, all right. I got
What steps do we,
the honorary consulate is the honorary consulate. So the satellite office would be, as I said, we're not, IDS does not replace the consulate. We're not in competition either with the consulates. We're a support team. The high commissions, the consulate, the embassies, and all of that across the globe, right? So there are certain things that they have, we have to go through the consulate. So we don't do passports. We go through the consulate. We're facilitators for those who require, for those who need a passport in a more efficient, in a quicker time for most persons, or if you're far away and it is difficult for you to access the embassy or the consulate in your area. So that is we are basically an option to facilitate for those who may need it. So we are not telling anybody, if you choose to go through the consulate directly and drive to Miami, that is fine. We do not replace them. We're not in competition with them. We provide support and we have to go through them to produce it. It's just that our services make things a little bit, much more quicker, yes, right? And there's some things that they don't do directly. So they're like other services we offer. So you won't get like your NIS from the consulate. You won't get your TRN process probably from the consulate. You won't get, let's say, for example, you want to sort out your land and title matters. That is not done at the consulate. You know, if you want a will to be probated, that is not done at the consulate. If you want a no impediment document, if you want documents signed by apostoles, because we provide a one-stop shop solution for the diaspora. So somebody may come for a tax registration number, for example, a TRN, which you cannot do any business in Jamaica. You cannot register a charity, you cannot do anything with land, you cannot buy a property and all of that. When our customers come and say, boy, Nordia, I need a TRN, we then ask, why do you need a TRN? And we might say, oh, we're purchasing a property in Jamaica, or we're trying to sort out a land matter, or we're trying to sell a property. We do a one-stop shop, so you don't have to go anywhere to get what you're actually using the TRN to do. And that is what we want, that satellite to, a satellite is not just for the passport, it will be there to facilitate that, but we want to be a satellite that no matter what it is our people need in Jamaica, especially when they can't go down there or they don't have anybody, you can have it right there and access all the services you need to the best of our ability in a trusted environment and one that is affordable. As to what we will need, we will have to discuss that as to what is the best avenue to have this. Is that we're going to have clinics and use the platforms of associations that may have facilities already in Central Florida? Is that we're going to use one of the churches? When do we have these clinics? We have to come to an agreement as to how we are going to approach that, as to how we're to treat the satellite. Would it be a standard temp? It would be a permanent structure or fixture, or would it be momentarily or monthly, bi-monthly,
So to get an understanding from you, basically what you're saying, first, we need to establish where these satellite office can be held, whether it's in a church, an organization or maybe somebody have a extra space in their office that can say, okay, fine, Nordia, come up here once a month and I'll give you a table here or a desk here to do this business, or a church, or a building. That is the first thing you will need. Am I correct?
Right. And we actually have somebody in Central Florida. She's actually here, Stephanie. Stephanie, your hand is raised. So even if at any given time, there can be somebody there to serve the diaspora. Got you.
And secondly, all right, so you have established Stephanie, for example. We'll bring her in and find out where her location is, and we can talk about that. But if someone, for example, I just went down to, this is my passport, I went down to the consulate what would you, if I had come to you in the satellite office, in Stephanie's office, wherever she's providing it, what is it that you do exactly for me with this passport?
So if it is the person that is, well, whatever the case, because if it's in Central Florida, you know, you'd have to go, persons go down to Central Florida and go in and all of that. We do all the documentation for you. So you really don't have to move from your location.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically pay us to do everything for you, to
Gotcha.
submit, walk through the documents, complete, and all of that, and submit. So
Fill
you
out
just
the
wait on your passport,
application, all
basically.
works.
Yeah, you just wait on your passport.
Got you, got you. And what is the cost for that service?
So forgive me because I'm using different from UK to whatever figure. So let me just confirm that. And I know the prices were increased the other day from the consulate. So
Right.
let me give it at the end, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So I can verify.
Not a problem.
Because
Can
on
we bring
camera,
in-
so you hold me to it.
Yes, no problem. Can we bring in Stephanie? Because that is our starting point this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring in Stephanie to understand what is it that Stephanie will provide. Stephanie, are you there?
And
Good
after
afternoon,
Stephanie,
everyone.
sorry, we've got a few hands up. So after Stephanie, we're gonna go to, we've got Rosemarie Roth and Mia Allman that also have hands up, okay?
Awesome, awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I am the newest person in town. I'm a pastor here in Central Florida. And when I came here, I had the same issue. And I decided, how can I be a part of the agent of change to help other Jamaicans living in Central Florida, that they don't have to do the drive. As a newcomer, I had to learn to drive all the way down to Miami for my twins' passport. Then when they came to Central Florida at the Access Jamaica, we met and discussion was done, and I decided I would sign up to be an agent to represent Nordia. When she can come, I will go to the meetings, or I will set up a table in different parts of the city to facilitate the applications that she has just discussed. So I am in Central Florida. For now, I'm at a 32818 zip code. I will further discuss as it relates to the office. My church will facilitate, whether once per month, quarterly, for Jamaicans living in Central Florida to receive or to get the service from IDS. Same integrated diaspora service. And so with the new price increase, Nordia will explain as it relates to the services that we will, or the prices that we will, that will be the fees that will be charged to facilitate the processing of the different documents for Jamaicans living in Central Florida. So I am very honored to be in the room with great people tonight. God bless you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Stephanie. If you'll take your hand down, and also Vittel, unless Vittel has another question. So we're gonna go to Rosemarie Roth.
Mia is the next one.
Oh, Mia?
May I go ahead?
Okay, actually, Nadia, I had 3 questions, but she answered 2 of them already. Having a satellite office here in Orlando versus Miami, what is the turnaround time? Is it the same? Just getting a general passport without any complications?
You mean, trying to understand if you're saying it's the same turnaround time if you were to go into the consulate directly, or we represented you? You're asking if it's the same turnaround time?
I was going to Miami versus here in Orlando at the satellite office applying for passport. Would the turnaround time be the same?
If you were to physically go to Miami yourself?
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to make an appointment.
No, we open a satellite office here.
Oh, you mean if you open a satellite office in Miami?
No, in Orlando.
Here in Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Versus Miami, is the turnaround time still the same, or will it be different?
I'm sorry if I'm not getting it correct.
Okay, so let me jump in. She's saying that the satellite office that we're talking about setting up here with you right now, you and Stephanie, what would be the turnaround time versus we drive into Miami? Is it the same turnaround time, or does your service operate longer? Like Dr. Dr.
Well, it's
Vittel is
quicker.
asking right now, where is his passport? Would he have gotten through if
It's
he had
quicker.
driven to Miami? What is the turnaround time based on you doing it or we driving to Miami? What's the
But the
difference?
turnaround time for us is quicker. I mean, of course, there are certain things that we have no control over. So for example, somebody who has lost their passport or had a passport for a very long time, the turnaround time would probably be a little bit longer than somebody who has their passport just expired in 5 years.
Right.
You know, but overall, the process is that all the services we do really is designed to cut down on time, cut down on the turnaround time, more efficiency and less taxing for the client, that they don't want to have to travel to Jamaica or down to Miami or New York, but you can stay in the comfort of your home if you choose not to come to the satellite as well. So you have two options. You can come to the satellite, which is in your neighborhood, or we still have the virtual space, which still makes access to the service much quicker than regular.
Awesome.
Thank you. Was
All right.
all your questions, Mia, or did you have another one?
No, that's it. Thank you.
I hope I answered it properly.
Yes.
Rosemary, and then Joan has a hand up also.
Okay, well, thank you. But my it's not really a question, but a comment, because I get calls constantly of those who are here illegally and they do not have a valid Jamaican passport. And I don't know if you have any comforting words that I could say to them. But one thing I do realize is that it is so important that whether they're legal or illegal, I do recommend that each person have a passport.
You've touched a part that has impacted me a lot. And those are the persons we really want to connect with. Those ones that are undocumented.
Yes.
Yes, the undocumented persons that have no form of identification.
Right.
And those persons are also scared.
Very scared.
Lady Rosemarie, of going into the consulates anywhere.
Right.
I mean, Pika was here in the UK and they were scared to come out because they felt that there's going to be somebody waiting them to grab them and push them back to Jamaica.
Right.
So if normally when we have physical presence, we actually close off an area where they can have privacy, which I'd also recommend for the satellite, because there are persons who really want to remain private and they're scared. But we really want to provide the service for those persons who are undocumented, so we can help them get back their paperwork. And also for those persons who may, so you have the undocumented, meaning no ID.
Right.
And also they want to save, they want to have Jamaican accounts, for example. So we have a very close relationship with Victoria Mutual and JN. So we want to get them start saving the little money that they have, because they don't have no ID, they can't open an account, and so they're not saving.
Right.
We want to put a dent into these issues. That the situation is unfortunate, but they can have a life and they can start sending back monies home.
Exactly, because at Western Union, that is considered a legal identification that they can use to send money back to Jamaica, so they don't have to be afraid. And
VM is there as well, and JN, they're not going to ask you whether you're documented or you're legal or not. I mean, so you can have an account, you can have your passport, you can have your TRN, and it has nothing to do with you being undocumented or not legal to be in the country. So at least if we can have this group of persons, one, having an identification, two, have an account, have the basic documentation that if anything, if needs be too, if they're sent back or they have to go back to Jamaica, they're also prepared to function, as best as possible, because they would have had the main documents in place. For those who are on the platform too, who can probably help us to work with the persons who are repatriating, those who are repatriating returning residents, regular ones, and the involuntary returning residents, those who are now incarcerated. I would love, hopefully along with the satellite, we can have some way to prepare these persons properly in going back home, in getting these documents as well. But I guess it'll be further town hall for this.
Yes,
But
yes.
yes.
Okay, there, one last thing. I have an 83-year-old Jamaican who does not have a current passport or birth certificate. He has no identification, TRN or anything. How would you recommend us moving forward to helping him?
How old is he?
83.
So he has never had any of those before?
He came to America on a farm work and ran off. And
We
he,
can sort him out. So I'll talk to you after, because one of the first things to get his birth certificate. And that's another thing that we need to deal with as well, Lady Rosemarie. There are many persons with the old birth certificate. That's one, the long paper. Yes, the long white paper that cannot be used anymore for almost anything. And then there are persons, Lady Donna, with the birth certificate. But for those are, for example, who are doing filing for their families, yes? And when they realize that on the birth certificate of the child, there's no father's name there, it becomes problematic and delays it. So we have to do late addition of father's particulars.
right.
So for those who you know of in the community with these issues, we want what you call it, the program we're trying to implement now to address these issues, that we don't wait until the opportunity comes to get these persons straightened out, that it is a time that their documents are being addressed.
Right.
You know, because these are serious matters. Those who have come to the United States, for example, and Donna has now become Donna, and now you want a Jamaican passport, that is two different persons. So for the 82-year-old, the first thing to do is to get the birth certificate for him. Is a man or is a male or female?
Male.
Man, yes. The first thing is to get the birth certificate.
Yes.
And then we move from there to the passport.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Joan?
Good evening, everyone. I think we've established that we definitely need a satellite office here in Central Florida. So my question is, listening to Stephanie, would she be the person, would you be the person, Stephanie, who would handle that here physically?
Yes, Stephanie.
Yes, I will be the person to handle that. I'm currently doing so for those who are
So how long do you estimate it?
already know about.
How long do you think it would take to set it up and get running?
I can say that it is already set up just now to receive the persons. One of the things I was going to do was to put an ad in the Caribbean. I see a Caribbean magazine here. So that was my first move, to meet with that person, and then in a Jamaican online radio so that they would know. But what I've been doing so far is to go to the churches, the Jamaican churches that I am currently associated with, and then the word would spread from there. But with the current, now that I've met the faces and the members of the various associations, then I can now set an appointment to meet with you, especially hearing what Rosemarie has said, because there are many undocumented persons with the same issue. I have done this service in the British Virgin Islands before, as I serve as a pastor there. So when Nordia shared the vision, it was easy because I've had persons who didn't even have a birth certificate, and I stayed right in the British Virgin Islands to get that done. So it is now just an additional region to get the same service done. So they can be seen. We can set an appointment so we don't have a lot of people in the office at one time, especially now that, you know, they need that extra privacy. Yes.
Right. So you already have a background in doing this service already. So this is a continuation of what you have been doing in the past. Awesome. All right. Any other questions from any one of the panels?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, brother.
I must, Nordia, I must commend you for your wonderful job you're doing, because you provide a service that is necessary.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I've seen you in operation, and you're very business-like lady. I like you know, the way you handle the business.
Thank you, sir.
When the meeting first started out, though, I was of the opinion that we're talking about a passport office and not a global diaspora integrated office. There's a difference. And then as the meeting continues, I realized that what we're talking about is setting up your business here in Orlando instead of a passport office. Am I correct?
Well, a passport is one of the services that we offer. So it's actually passport and documents, I think that was placed out there, right?
But we're not talking about setting up a passport office here, though.
No,
Not a government office, if that's what you're
Not a
saying.
government office, right?
No, this is not
government
a, no.
Okay.
We are working through our current business that provide these services. That's what we are trying to do, to get our business, you know, providing these service on a regular basis, but not a government office, if that's what you're saying.
No, that's what I thought.
That's what you thought. Okay.
Yeah, but you know, it is really necessary, Nordia, and I know you'll do a wonderful job. My biggest concern is, you know, how do you expedite the service so, you know, so well when they cannot do it? Mr. You know, you can go to Miami Louis and pick up your passport and come right back, right? Is that what you did, right? That's what you said, right? Renew your passport?
I'm sorry?
Did you say you went to Miami to renew, to get your passport renewed?
No, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. This is a different one. I didn't get it right away. I sent it and it will take a couple of, whatever time they said it, I'll get it. So I'm waiting on the renewal.
Oh, so you didn't get it yet?
No, I didn't get it. I went down there and do all the paperwork and pay whatever I needed to pay. And so I'm waiting on it. It should take a couple of weeks to months, hopefully.
All right. Don't bet on it. All right. No, I understand. Thank you. I'm out.
You're welcome.
Luz, this is Marjorie.
Hi, Marjorie. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Marjorie.
Hi there. I have a question for Stephanie because she mentioned she's working from her church. Where's her church located?
Okay, my church is on the Carcona Ocoee Road. That's the area where the church is located. As I said, it's by appointments because we want to facilitate persons and get that time. We don't want people to be waiting in a lobby area setting. So we want to do it as it relates to appointments so it can flow easier, smoother based on the case, because some persons, it's not just the passport, it's the TRN, it's the property issue, it's several issues, driver's license. And so what happened, IDS have persons like bearers on the ground in Jamaica. So when the FedEx or the DHL bring the document there, they go directly to the government agencies and be there waiting on the process, handing in the documents. So it's not there in a file just waiting on somebody's desk. We have team on the ground in Jamaica that is also working. So while Nordia is in the UK, they're team on the ground. So when you fill out that driver's license application, you will get an authorization form to give integrated diaspora service the permission to represent you in Jamaica on all those matters. We also have a legal team that is on board with the IDS. So whatever legal documents to be done, there are some lawyers on the team as well who facilitate those services. So it's all trying to make sure people are feeling good where their documents are going, and it's not just going any and anywhere. All right. Yes.
So follow-up question, you currently work 5 days per week, and is there a contact number how people find you and know how to be in touch?
I just dropped the number in the chat, but my number is, for those who might be watching live, it's 407-633-8389. I would suggest you send a text first, and then I can respond accordingly. Because if the number is strange, my phone is gonna say it's a, you know what. a spam call. So out of Portugal, just state your name and that you would like some follow-up on the issue, all right? And I'll be able to serve you accordingly. Thank you.
Stephanie, I know your phone, it had a delay when Ms. Marjorie asked about the location of the church. I think we heard clear Kona, but that was it. Could you just tell us where again?
Okay, it's on the Clarkona Okawi Road, that road right there. And so it's a little road that runs off Clarkona Okawi Road. But the thing is this, it has to be done by appointments because there are other things that are currently happening. Can you hear me? Yeah, there are other activities that happen at the office. So that's why I want it to be done by appointment. So when they come, because we have counseling, we have different stuff that I do here. So I have special time that I would facilitate those processing. Okay.
We also provide the other numbers for the company that you at no point, if you reach out to the entity, either Stephanie, the team on the ground, you will not be attended to because we work together across the board. So you'll always have somebody attending to you at some point in time throughout the night and the day.
Thank you.
I have a quick question, Donna, and thank you, Stephanie. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Nordia. Initially, I was of the same opinion that Mr. Smart was, that we were thinking about maybe having a satellite office, but thank you that you're already available. Now, when sharing your number, I think one of the questions that may arise is cost. Say the regular process going through the consulate, maybe $100 per person. How much extra would the cost be through your company? It may vary, I would imagine, depending on what the person brings.
Depending on the service.
Right, just give me an idea when I share with them how much extra it would be.
Let's say for a birth certificate. A birth certificate now is 110 US, which includes you getting 2 birth certificates and it being shipped back to you in the United States where you are. All right, that's one. For your TRN, for example, we charge 100 US. That includes going to the tax office twice because we have to go there initially, get it for you, we should get in a day or a few hours, and we get the paper with the number on it. Then we go back 3 months after, collect laminated card and ship that to you. So that includes shipping and visiting the TRN office twice. With regards to the passports, minimum it starts from, and depends on a child, which is under 200 US to I think max is 250. And that includes doing all the paperwork, going to the consulate, everything on your behalf. Of course, if we're in New York or Miami, it's kind of different. Some of them you'd have to go in, we just process everything for you. It must be understood though, that we don't replace the consulates. Persons still have a choice to go in. However, we do understand that some person, like I myself don't like lines. So I'll pay to get certain stuff done. So it minimizes the time and the turnaround time is quicker. But I must say though, if we're going to have satellites and we are going to have an influx or a greater volume of persons coming in, and we're going to work with associations and all of that, of course, we can have special prices and negotiated costs based on the area that we're serving. So we can talk more about that. Right? Because if we have let's say we have 20 TRNs, we can reduce the cost because we can just use one shipping for everybody. If it is going back to an organization, for example, you get what I mean? Right. So it won't be a single shipment.
Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me jump in for 1 second. Just to address Mr. Vittel and Dr. Dawkins' question. We are thinking about opening a satellite office with IDS being on the back end. You know, so we will have some form of office somewhere, because we understand that Stephanie is one person and we have to go to a church here and there and all that. We need to have a permanent place. And with that permanent place, IDS is operating on the back end and we're doing the front end of the work, providing a satellite office. So that's the idea. That's the idea. So yes, we're looking to have a satellite office where even if it's just for them to come in and sit down and fill out paperwork or whatever it is, they don't have to really wait for Stephanie to show up at a church at a certain time. You know, we just get information and we understand what the process is from IDS and we follow those guidelines and we get the work done. And this is why we have these organizations here right now, so we can understand the process itself. So when we set up shop, then they can come to that office. And then these would be the organizations or the organization that IDS is talking about working with.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I see another hand raised. Vittel, did you have another? Your hand is still raised.
Yeah, no, I just raised it again.
Oh, okay. I think
Yeah.
Rosemarie Roth had your hand up. And
Before, yes, she's before me.
Oh, I'm here again. Is it Miss Nordia?
Nadia.
Nordia. Okay, wonderful. I have to tell you a really funny story. A young lady it took her 30 years to get her US permanent visa. And the reason for that is that she had a problem with her birth certificate. And each time she had to send the money to Jamaica and pay somebody's bus fare to go and take care of it. And then lunch money, etc. And then another time she sent her birth certificate down, they lost it. It took 30 years from the beginning of the 30 years, okay, to get the process done. And I have been with her. At one point, I got tired of hearing what she's going through. Somebody lost the papers and they had to, I don't know how, but it took 30 years, okay? And I'm a pastor, local pastor, but I do an information, I call it information brokerage, where they call me whenever they're anxious and they have situation reach a point where they don't know where to turn. So recently somebody had someone who passed away and they were afraid to bury, to call the funeral home. And I said, bury the man. No green card, it's okay. They don't need no green card right about now. They just want to make sure that you bury him. But there's so much anxiety there that just knowing that there's somebody there legally to speak with, not them hearsay or they hope so or whatever. Sometimes they call me and convince me this is how they want it done. And I'm like saying, well, that's not the way it's done. And I said, well, if you don't believe me, then go to somebody else, go to your auntie, go to your uncle. But it's really nice when you have legal representative to say, this is the route in which you're to go, and you'll be all right. So it takes off a lot of anxiety and they're not afraid to share what they're going through. And also to know that INS and IRS are two different agencies and that they're okay, you know, that whole process there. And then the other thing that is working under the covers, well, that is why I brought up the INS and IRS being two separate entities, is that they still have to make a living, and the fear of working and then, you know, everybody made them overwork for a little pittance, for very little money. And then there's exuberant amount of fees that are packed on through the back doors. So, you know, it's really important having your service here, at least from my point of view, to be able to ease the tension and the anxiety, so people don't have high blood pressure and strokes and stuff because they're so afraid and taking secondhand information.
I totally endorse that. And I mean, we've seen a bit of what, but I've never heard of 30 years.
30 years.
30 years,
Years.
30 years, that's
And them
crazy.
lost the paper, and she had to pay them bus fare to go back to Spanish Town to get the birth certificate. It was just a crazy mess. And I just quietly said, okay, do it your way. What can I tell you? But it's just not knowing, and they're thinking if they do it this way, it might work. And I said, no, you got to go the proper way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so
a lot of the burden can be eased. I mean, from the
Yes.
counselors, of the pastors like yourself.
right.
We just having a route to
Yes.
go to explain all these things. And I mean, as I said before, we're a one-stop shop. So
Right.
those matters, the death certificate matters, the marriage certificate matters, any documentation really.
Right.
You know, we want you all to know that you have support,
Somebody came to
legitimate support.
somebody came to see me recently, and this is funny. Mr. Smart know that I love to tell jokes. True story. They asked him, when were you born? And he looked at his mother, and the mother said, me no remember when you're born, but it's when my starter dog did born.
Oh no.
All right.
True
So,
story.
so
All right.
Nordia, I have a question for you. Do you have, are there any other satellite offices that are set up that you support on the back end in any other states or cities?
So there is, we call it, but I guess satellite would be working through an entity like that you mean?
Well, for instance, if we went ahead and opened a standalone building here,
Mhm.
and we're using IDS on the back end to do the work, but
Mhm.
we're doing what's necessary to bring our people, to bring the diaspora together, or I should say Jamaicans in Central Florida together, to say, here's your office where you can come and take your passport services, your documents and all that.
Yeah.
Do you work with any other office, any other entities in such capacity?
Yeah, we have similar in the context of satellites in New York. We have similar in Atlanta. Now we're establishing something in the UK, but more in the US. So it's we have somewhat satellites, Connecticut, Atlanta, and New York, but none in Florida.
So now with these offices, how many, what kind of staffing do they have? And what kind of, do you have any idea like how they operate?
So really that a lot of these persons all have their existing, it's like an existing organization that extends services, and they expand on those services by offering what IDS offers to the diaspora in the space. But I can't say that it would be like, no, we are being strategic, is strategically targeting a particular market. So it's more, they are like the one in New York, we're trying to get them more actively engaged in the community, to have a proper satellite that people really know that this is what is happening. You can get the support. So it's work in progress for them, really. But what they do is basically add the service to their services and just mark it that this is available if you want it.
So if we were supposed to set up, say for instance, we set up a building and we go ahead and we set up a website and all this and call ourselves Acme Passport Services. And we wanted to provide forms where people can download before they come into the office. And we wanted certain resources that would make make it a smooth transition from them, a smooth transaction. Would you provide those services, or would you provide the forms, or would you give us forms so they can download from our sites, and then you deal with, because you're going to be dealing on the back end of everything,
right?
So it's, how do we front? Do they come to us, get the forms?
Would have to be a replica, basically, of the regular operations of IDS. So you would have the forms we use, which would include, for example, our letter of authorization. because IDS cannot act on the behalf of a client without their authority on the ground in Jamaica. Yeah. So you would have those forms, for example, you'd have the same forms we use. This is from the government agency, but it would be more packaged for you, you know, so you have that at ease, but you would be interfacing. It's just that you'd route everything to us on the ground. But so if somebody were supposed to contact us separately from the satellite, what you have would not look different from what we're offering. We're on the same page in terms of documentation. Yes. It's just that you would be the face of it.
Right.
But there would be no difference if they were supposed to come to us one away. That there would be no discrepancy, you know, in terms of, oh, how come I got the passport office in the satellite office and they're saying this or charging me this, or they say I don't need no letter of authority. No, we'd have to be on the same page.
Well, it's very important that we do use your package of forms, because things can change and get updated and all that. And we want to make sure that we're not giving people outdated stuff. And we know that you guys are current, you know, so it's basically to have the resource of forms where they can download stuff at home. Say, for instance, they live in Kissimmee, or they live in, say, you know, just for instance, Winter Haven or something, and they're coming into Orlando, they can actually get the forms beforehand, come in, do what they have to do, drop it off, say, and then once we get those, Stephanie can do the magic with it and all of that, right? So
and we'd want to ensure to Sir Peter that training occurs, because there are certain things that we'd have to educate the satellite office on, in terms of changes, in terms of how to address the various, you know, services, and even how to probe more in, so we can really ascertain the core needs, because a person may come in for a passport and facilitate that, but in discussion you realize that there's a greater need, especially as you spoke about undocumented person, you know, that we probably can address, because at the end of the day, we don't want to just offer just a passport. We want to be a holistic, this has to be a holistic initiative that addresses the core needs of our people within the space. You know, at the end of the day, we want to give our people hope and we want to keep them engaged.
Right. So, and that's very important you said that, because let me ask you this though, as far as services you provide, what are the top, what do you see as most needs?
We have a lot of, well, we've had a lot of property needs, a lot of passport requests, a lot of the passport, TRN, property, and property is wide. So those who want to, a lot of purchases, especially from the first and second generation, who see Jamaica as a hub now to invest. And we, you know, they want to know the dynamics of the space, the processes, those who want to, the one-stop shop. So persons who come for that, will get the TRN for them, the mortgage, we align everything without them coming to Jamaica or doing anything. Another one is the land and title matters. Those who have untitled lands down here and they're being taken away, or the tax is not up to date and all of that. So passport, yes, is a very big one. And then move on to TRN, which is connected to all of what I just spoke about a while ago.
I heard from another candidate. I spoke to her earlier, Lorraine Green. And she said—
You're our first customer.
Yes, yes. And she said that there's also a need in the South. Now, I'm not trying to divert away from Central Florida, but I was thinking that all those places were already set up or whatever, because I'm focused on Central Florida right now. But it just seemed like there's just this great need for this all over, you know, and
yeah,
from what we're trying to do, would you recommend that that there's multiple satellite offices just in different pockets, like even from here, like to Jacksonville or to, you know?
Yeah. So the west, the south. So even though you may have, I mean, mentioned persons doing stuff through their companies, I don't think we have properly established satellites that people can go in at any time and make the request at any time, especially across the United States. To be honest, Peter, I would love to see a structure in terms of satellites across the United States and by extension globally, because you have Canada is another area, you know. So this would, if we could start, if Central Florida is a template, and that could be a model for the other spaces as to how we operate in having satellites, you know, in the United States and globally, because these are issues that are not unique to Central Florida. It's a global matter, especially those who are just, while I'm here, somebody's messaging, wanting help for their child to get a passport. It is the embassy and the High Commission that they report is in the UK. It's hard. What was the perfect, because you said the satellite offices are not perfect or whatever. Let me know, I don't want to use the word perfect because I don't think we'll ever get perfect. But what is the ideal? How do you see the ideal satellite office? As I said, the ideal satellite office is one where it's central, it is easily accessible to people. It is one where I would prefer, if it is going to be in alignment with another entity, then it has to be an entity that is service oriented already. So we can partner with persons who are doing something other than services, because it'd be difficult to extend that or add that to what they already do. You know, so it must be something that is in alignment, that it can flow. That's primary, I think, and central and compatible with whoever it is that we're going to operate through or with. Now, does these persons who are operating in this office, do they need any form of formal certification or anything? We would I wouldn't say, not to be standard qualification, I believe, but especially standard qualification, be able to read and write. But we'd love somebody who's qualified, like a regular job that they're going to enter to, but more in particular, somebody who understands the target market or the diaspora that we operate in. It is very important the person is customer centric and customer focused, and they understand the Jamaican market. We're not always simple. So if you're miserable and not very patient, it is not going to work. No. Right. So as far as someone operating this office, and you training those individuals or IDS, because I would expect IDS is going to be training these individuals. Yes. The training that they receive, is it something that could become a certification training? Currently, and I'm not sure, I would have to find out, because we are subjecting persons who join the organization to, there's a customer service course that you'd have to pay for at heart in Jamaica. So at minimum, you must be certified, and we can facilitate that. I'm just not sure I'd have to find out if somebody who is overseas can access the same course, or if not, we have to find the equivalent in the space and see how best we can facilitate that type of training and certification. But I do believe that at minimum, training in customer service should be paramount to somebody, right, Steph, who's coming on board, at least that. Yeah, if they already have it, then that's great. They just provide the proof of that. If not, we find out how we can facilitate that in the space they're in, or if we can extend the one that is too hard, which is a certified entity that's known globally, really, to them. So pretty much, if we had set up a workshop, not a workshop, but a satellite office, then what we would need to do is set up a workshop for training. And if we set up that workshop for training, how long would that training be? well, hopefully the person is catches on well. It is some persons have a natural knack for it. So the training is basically reinforcing what they already know. A lot of times the training will not just, is one to understand the dynamics in which they operate, which will provide that information, understanding the climate of Jamaica and how it is that they'll have to understand the climate in Jamaica, the market they serve, and bridging that. You know, that is not very easy because many persons think that that all persons are the same. So for example, somebody who may have lived in the United Kingdom for a while and come to the United States, their temperament may be different. Somebody who may have lived in, let's say, New York, or let me give you somewhere else, like Atlanta, and now move to Florida, maybe a different temperament. So it's basically teaching and training how to approach each person and all of that. So it may be the training maybe on service as well as on product and the services we offer, because knowledge, being competent in guiding our clients is important. You don't want to tell them foolishness because that affects what we're trying to do and may extend the time that we want to deliver in. So maybe I think it'll be twofold.
Well, I think that the strategy that we would have to use is to shadow Stephanie for a while, because you guys are the subject matter expert. We don't know. And that shadow can become that certified training somewhat over a period of time. Because the thing is, we don't want to be all over the place, like someone walks in for a TRN, oh, let's try this. Someone walks in for the, oh, let's try this. We want to be like proficient in each area where we're trying to help, provide services to the diaspora, because, so I wouldn't say, yeah, we do everything here. It would be one thing at a time until we fully understand what it means to provide these services.
I mean, if persons come in though, Peter, and because no is similar, because if they come in and they may not be au fait with how the process, they can always refer to Stephanie. You have myself, you have Major Ford, who is responsible for the entire area that they can refer to. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to send anybody away because we don't know. You don't know.
Well, we're not talking about, I'm not saying sending anyone away, but the key thing is, I said is, when we open that satellite office. For now, there's no satellite office. So no one's being sent away.
When we open,
yeah, but when it's open, we want to make sure that we're open, fully trained, and ready to go.
Okay.
So it's now, over time, we understand that the idea is to work with IDS right now, get everything in place, start seeing what's going on and all that. So in a sense, because Stephanie is one person, what if Stephanie has to go on vacation for a month? You understand what I'm saying? Then we can't wait for that, because people like Mr. Vittel right here will send you heat in your text, and we don't want that. So the thing is for us to be trained well, and when the services come in, if we know Stephanie's not around, we know exactly where to go.
Right.
We have to understand this fully before we jump into it. So it's just a matter of finding individuals who we can get together and set up time with Stephanie. I guess that's the next meeting.
And for
when she can provide services, and when we can come and find that person who's going to shadow her and report back and give us, it's like train the trainer, and train us again how to do this work, because we all can't be there with her over and over her shoulder. So I think this is good information.
For me, interject a little.
Brother Vittel, go ahead.
Yes. Training these days is pretty easy, virtually. Everything is done virtually these days. So it's not a matter of you being there physically to train. All you need is a personnel.
Yes.
Right personnel. But I want to follow up with you, Nordia. When you came here in March, you came with the Consul General office in Miami. You're a part of that group that came in with them and Grace Kennedy and all the other companies that are offering their services. Are we talking about competing with them now, or are we talking about the liaison with them?
We're still in partnership with them. As I said, we're not JN, we're not VM.
No,
We
I'm
are
not talking. I'm not talking
J-
about those people. I'm talking about
Grace.
I'm talking about the Consul General office in
Well, I
Miami.
did say, and I've been saying that we're not the Consul General, we're not the
I know.
CG, we're not the High Commission. We support them. We facilitate those things.
Why are they not a part of this discussion then?
The point is, they are not a part of it because IDS is not the consulate. We're a private entity that provides support globally to these entities for those who want more options to access these services in Jamaica, including the passport. So
Well,
we will not tell anybody not
Yeah.
to go directly to the High Commission in
Let
any
me ask-
country at all.
Let me ask
That's
this
your
question.
choice. But for
Let me
those of
ask-
our clients who want it in a more quicker time,
Mhm.
and they're willing to pay for it,
Right.
we're here.
Let me ask the question to Peter then, because he's a facilitator for this, because he has to work in conjunction, and in a position that he's running for, he has to work in conjunction with the Consul General office in Miami, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gracey, so are you going to be working in conjunction with them to facilitate integrated diaspora services? Is that what the plan is?
Well, no, that's not what the plan is. We are trying to set up a satellite passport office documents services here in Central Florida. Now, there are certain things that must still go through the consulate. So we do still have to do work with them. But for the most part, we're not the consulate. They may get involved at some point. But the thing is, we have to leverage certain things to get certain things done. Because the whole idea is I think they would appreciate that we are taking some of the, because the consulate doesn't, even though we're working with the consulate still has to work with the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, which is two separate entities. They have to work hand in hand. So while we're trying to deepen the engagement, they have to work with us on that side. So it's a partnership. So therefore, we're not in competition with the consulate, but we're working hand in hand to get these services done.
Okay.
And the thing is, Sir Peter, and I would reiterate, we do not make or create passports. We have to go through the High Commissions and the consulates in the different regions to do it. It's just that there's nothing legal that says nobody can represent you at the consulates. People have done it before. There are persons doing it over and over again across the United States.
Yes.
We have just been bold and decided that in order to make ourselves more credible to the persons we serve, we have gone ahead in at our launch. And if you look on YouTube, you will see us there with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, with the Global Council at that time. Yes, realize, Sir Vitel, when we go in the spaces we're working with PICA, we're working with the consulate, and so on and so forth. At our launch, Sir Mayor was one of our speakers. So we're not in competition with them. They're actually benefiting more from what we're doing, because we have to pay them, and the passports have to be done through them.
Right. They still get paid regardless.
We still have to pay them.
Yes.
So we're filling up their numbers.
Yeah.
So they're looking good. We just in the back end.
So
Yes.
why shouldn't we tap into them to help set up this office here in Orlando then?
Because it's a choice. It's an option for persons who are having difficulty.
Mhm.
Persons are having difficulty probably reaching to Miami. Persons may not want to join a line, want to wait appointments. This is not, as Sir Peter said, this is just one satellite that we're setting up a platform for, that we can probably expand across the globe to assist our people.
And just to expand on that answer is, it's not that we're not getting them involved. IDS is already involved with them, right? So therefore, we don't have to reach out to get them involved. By default, they're going to be involved once IDS is in.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions from anyone in the panel? We still have quite a bit of people here. Our goal this evening is to end at around 8:30. So we have another half an hour to go. Any other questions in regards to this matter from anyone?
I have a comment.
Was it 8 or 8:30? It was 8.
8 o'clock.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes left.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, good night, all. I'm Gary McCook. I am in Georgia, but just wanted to give the support to the Floridians. Peter invited me on this Zoom meeting today. Heard a lot of good stuff. I think the geography of Georgia is not like Florida. So right now, we sort of go through the honorary consul general here to get our passports. So I think that process is going pretty well. But as the host mentioned about piggybacking, I've learned some stuff, and I could share it with them here, because this is all one goal to make the system simpler for us as Jamaicans here in the diaspora. So I think it was a great meeting, great forum, great questions from the guests who were on, and just want to thank Peter again for the hard work he's doing, and good luck in the elections. And as you say, whoever wins, we'll be here to support, because we're all one diaspora. Thanks again.
All right, awesome. Any other comments? We have a minute left. Even if is it okay for us to go over if anybody have anything else? Because
Miss Rosemarie Roth.
Well, I was really gonna take my 30-second here and say thank you to Sir Peter Gracey for bringing this meeting to the forefront. I do pray and wish and desire that he wins, because Central Florida for so long has been wanting to have a voice. And we appreciate the fact that South Florida has more Jamaicans than we in Central Florida, but we are coming to come, all right? We're a little bit right now, but the next word is Watalawa. So Sir Peter, I do thank you so much for stepping forth. I know you got some really hot lips from me, but it's okay, boss. If you can take it from me, you can take it from Vitel.
Right. And
well, thank you. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And let me just say this, that I invited the other candidates on for the mere purpose that we have to be realistic.
Yes.
And if any other candidate comes out victorious, they needed to hear this so they can support it, because we're all one diaspora. We are all together in this. It's really this, I just want to make sure that it's understood that this meeting was not about an election or anything like
I know,
that.
it's very honorable.
It's a what about, no, I understand what you're saying, but I just want to make it clear to the people on Facebook who is listening, you know, that it's all about us coming together. And you guys, I brought a wonderful group of people in this meeting. And I'll tell you this much, I know for a fact that with this group and extended group, people that are listening and could not be a part of this, because I don't really know too much more outside of this little family, right? Because I would have invited everyone. But I am sure that we have enough information here right now to move forward, knowing that Stephanie's around, knowing that we have resources we can reach out to, knowing that we have individuals in the participants where we can say, okay, let's try a church for the first time. Let's do this, let's do that, and figure it out. I think we have enough information to create that basic framework to begin.
Awesome, awesome. Any other comment before we close out?
Yes, thank you. May I?
Yes, I want to say thanks for allowing me to sit on this panel tonight. one of the things though that I heard coming out is the concern for the satellite office. But even if Peter and the other persons who are preparing for the new posts become like what PASA has, information brokerage, even to be that information center for now, it would be good until we're able to reach Central Florida, so a wide area, then we can start even with just having the information and then forwarding them to the IDS service. So I thank you all for having me tonight. God bless you.
God bless. Dr. Barber?
Just a
Yes,
quick
I'd
one.
just like to say,
Dr. Barber?
thank you, Mr. Gracey, for inviting me on behalf of the Jamaican American Association to be a part of this meeting. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Louis, for hosting this. And thank you to everyone. I'm very happy that someone is finally paying attention to the need for a satellite office in Central Florida. And I'm looking forward to part 2 of this conversation. We take it back to our different groups, and questions that arise may be addressed in the part 2. And thank you, Nordia and Stephanie, for the service that you already provide. God bless everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Anyone else before
Yes,
we
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Can I say one last, I forgot.
Let's have this gentleman here real quick and we'll get back to you. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Just want to say thanks to Nordia for extending the invitation to me to join. Mr. Gracey, we have met before, not personally, but through other means. And I just again want to wish you all the best. And this was really very informative to me, and also seeing some of the persons involved. And from what you're saying about the satellite, I think it's something that the time is right for it now and should be moved forward. So all the best going forward with that. Thank you.
Dr. Rosemarie?
Well, I wanted to say that on behalf of the Jamaican Cultural Connection, I again want to say thank you so much, Louis Witter and Donna Morton, for allowing us to be a part of this forum. And again, if everyone go and vote for Peter Gracey and tell a family member to vote, we will get the numbers in. I do appreciate that there are other candidates running, but since I do not know them and I know Sir Peter Gracey, I do solicit your voting for him. Central Florida needs a voice. Here it is, folks. Let's vote for Peter Gracey. Thank you.
Amen. Mia, did you want to say something before we close out?
Yes, just a special thank you to Peter, Nordia, Louis, and you, Donna, and everyone on here. You know, it's a great need that we need in this community, Caribbean community. And I'm honored to be here, and I look forward to, you know, work with each and every one of you and, you know, get this satellite office up and running.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so before
Louis,
we close
I'm not
out,
sure, Louis, did the president of JCC and Jamaican American Association, did we get a proper just shout out? Let's make sure, like Rosemarie Roth, can you again just say the name of your organization, please? You're muted.
We are the Jamaican Cultural Connection. We're here to encourage our citizens to come together in cultural unity. We endeavor to meet one Jamaica, meeting another Jamaican, and be able to spread the unity that we're one people.
All right.
when do you have meeting, before you go, when do you guys have meeting, Pastor Rose?
Okay, you've called me every title tonight.
Yes, ma'am, you are all of them.
Oh my word, okay. Well, to know the exact time of our meetings, you can go to our website, which is jccnow.org, and we meet the last Sunday of every month. But I would encourage everyone to go to jccnow.org to know
Awesome.
more about our vision, our mission, and the way that we intend to connect one Jamaican in abroad to another Jamaican back home.
Awesome.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Barbara, can you wrap up with your meeting time for your organization as well.
Thank you so much. We are the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida. We seek to empower people through education that gives them the opportunity to build a better world individually and as a group. We meet every second Sunday at the Silver Star Christian Church, 7510 Silver Star Road in Orlando. We do many things, educate and outreach, and we're inviting you to come on out and join us. On December 10th, we're having our Christmas event to bring a close to Jamaica's 60th.
Awesome.
Looking forward to seeing you. Go to the website for information on tickets and other details. And we also have a Facebook page that is updated with current events.
Very good.
Wonderful. So we heard our two Central Florida organizations, JCC and Jamaican American Association of Central Florida. So anything Jamaican in this area, you know, they should be a part of it. They should be in it, on it, over it, anything. So I definitely support that. And of course, Caribbean American Diaspora Alliance, we do have our Jamaica Diaspora Outreach and too. So with that, this has been beautiful.
Before we close out, did we hear from Mia?
Yes, we did hear from Mia.
Yes.
Brother Vittel, you wanted to get something in?
Just before you go out, I want to thank you, Donna, for hosting this meeting. Mr. Lewis,
thank
big
you.
up to you, sir.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Peter Gracey, lots of luck on your election. And everybody else, Rosemarie, Dr. Dawkins, appreciate the meeting. And Nordia, me want my passport.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll get the passport.
Lewis,
Nordia.
before we go, I spoke earlier. I need to reintroduce myself.
Yes, Miss Marjorie.
I know everybody pretty much on the line, but for a few, I'm the founder of the Jamaican American Association, which is now 37 years old.
And
so we have been around the block. We know a few things. Worked very closely with the Jamaica Council in Jamaica years ago. Achieved quite a bit for Jamaicans here and in Jamaica. And we will continue to do that and look forward to working with you.
Hi, Marjorie.
Awesome.
David
Awesome.
Joan?
If we're not rushing, let's give a few more minutes, Donna.
Yes.
I see Brother John Perry from Palm Bay. I would love to hear from Brother John because Palm Bay is one of the largest community for Jamaica. They used to call it Little Jamaica. And Palm Bay has an organization down there called BACASCA. We would love to have them in this meeting the next time. We will also love, I know people, I'll be talking to people coming tomorrow in Ocala. There's big organization in Ocala. Let's try and get everybody together at the next meeting and see if we can really expand on what we're doing. Brother John, are you there? Okay, Brother John.
For John, is Joan?
Yes, I'm here.
Joan, yes,
I'm
can we
here.
have a wrap up from Joan?
This is Joan Edghill, and I had a very, very interesting meeting. It was very informative, and thank you again to everyone for holding this meeting and for allowing me to be a part of it. I look forward to round 2.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a
Brother
good
John, I
Lewis.
see you on mute.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Fantastic meeting. A word would be about time. About time.
Yep.
I think there needs to be a follow-up meeting though, because some of the concerns that I have, and I made sure go ahead and listen to everyone. But I think one of the major concerns that I have when you're talking about land titles, you're talking about TRN numbers. I certainly hope those people that are handling those papers are certified and qualified, not only in customer service, But I certainly hope we do our due diligence on the people that are handling the paperwork, and that's my major concern. But once again, I think it's a good start, and I think we need a follow-up meeting towards this. I think possibly Mr. Gracey tried to bring that out, but it never came out. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good
Brother
point,
John.
good point.
Mr. Perry, I'll tell you this much, there will be follow-up.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know me, you know. They're see me, but they don't know me. We're going to get things done, and it's going to happen, and there's no options. It's the only option. There's no plan B to this.
Yes.
It's
Mr.
going to
Gracey,
get done.
I look forward to meeting with you. I heard you're from Waterhouse. I'm from Cockburn Pen.
Same
Guava
district.
Road. Guava Road. So I look forward to meeting with you, and
Yes.
excellent job, sir, and best of luck to you.
No problem.
Yes.
I will definitely get I'm going to be putting together a project plan. And once that project plan comes together, then that will be the time for the next meeting. And then we can present this project plan with ideas to show that we're ready to move forward, ready to get the necessary training, and ready to support the diaspora. Again, let me say this, and I want to say this. We want to include everyone, not only myself, but all the candidates running, everyone from the council, the consulate, everyone. This is about us. We are Jamaicans. There's no exceptions to the rule. We are Jamaicans, and we're going to make this work. And if we can support any other people in other diasporas to help build the same framework for them, because we do have a Caribbean diaspora that I want to push out there. We have to know how to support each other in the region.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let's go to real quick. Dr. Herbert Dawkins seems to come in and want to say something. Welcome. Unmute yourself, sir. Yes, there you go. Unmute yourself real quick. There you go.
You know what? I was passing back and forth, and I got a little bit jealous of the wonderful discussion that you're having. So I asked my wife to let me sit in her chair for a little while. Your conversation and discussion you had was very interesting. And Mr. Peter Gracey, I think it brings a voice to Central Florida.
Amen.
And I think this should not be the only meeting this evening, right? It should be the beginning.
Yes.
Because we have some of the greatest people from Central Florida on this program, right? And it's just unity. By the way, I'm the pastor for the Silver Star Christian Church, where two of our organizations in Central Florida host their monthly meeting.
Amen.
2510 Silver Star Road, Silver Star Christian Church. So thank you very much. I'm not going to go into any details, but I enjoyed the discussion. It was very informative and just educational. So
appreciate you. I just want to close out this evening. I just want to confirm with everybody, this is where we are. We are here to start a Jamaica passport satellite office. With the DBA are doing business with IDC.
Yes.
That is the program that I understand that we're doing. We have a second meeting that we will collaborate with Brother Peter to get on the way, maybe in the next month or so. We want to thank everybody on behalf of myself and Donna. We want to thank you all for being here this evening. We want to thank the people from IDC for IDS for participating with us this evening. And of course, God bless you. Please join us also on our network, CRR Network. We broadcast 24 hours a day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have live broadcasts. Saturday is our biggest day. Please join us from 10 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. in the evening for some of Central Florida best talent right here on this network. God bless you. Donna, last word from you.
Yes, we just want to say, integrated diaspora service. And Stephanie, text, do not call. 407-633-8389. Again, we're just starting, we're building out, we're open to suggestions, right? So no attacks and criticism, because we have to start somewhere. And this is just amazing. It's not easy to get Jamaican people together on right. So this is amazing. This is like blessing right here, to just have this unity to say yes. And that's what we're saying. Yes. Yes to Jamaica. Yes to the concierge service that is needed. So realize that this is a concierge right now, a concierge service. All right. So with that, remember that this is being streamed live on Facebook at Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network. So share it, rewatch it over and digest the information. And we will update everyone as to the next meeting. And so it can be bigger and bring in more individuals from Tampa to Jacksonville, you know, Brevard County. We need more individuals, and we need the unity of the Central Florida Jamaicans to come together. So with that, I say, God bless you all. Have a good night.
Awesome. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you.